Hello, everyone. Wow, this is hot. I just got an email. I don't have a specific thing to talk to you tonight. I was actually about to go to, finish the night and do other things. But I just received an email from a friend of ours who mentioned, and this is dedicated to him, um, L. I would call him L. LM. LM. He knows who he is. um, he mentions in his email to me that he accidentally broke up with his girlfriend. I mean, no, nobody's going to go for that. L. Accidentally. It's like saying I accidentally, I don't know, ended up in my friend's home accidentally. There must have been some kind of a plan or some kind of a motivation that has been brewing there for a bit, for a while. If we can be honest with each other, if you search your heart, search your mind. I'm sorry if I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I just want to treat this as a friendly discussion, at the same time a positive emotions coming out, because to me, considering what I've gone through life and the experiences that I've had, and now I hear from a younger friend who tells me I accidentally broke up with my girlfriend. It kind of does bring a wonderful mood to me to represent it with the laughter. But it's not like if I'm disrespectful in my laughing. It's actually I'm laughing as this is a beautiful part of life again, something funny. I said, this is funny to me. Like I accidentally broke up with my girlfriend. So let me tell you about this accidental happening. You probably had some kind of a notion for a while that you wanted to do this. And perhaps whether that reason was legitimately, like you really wanted to do this because you had reasons to break up with her through your interaction with her, your relationship with her, or maybe you wanted to put a show of face, show of force. In other words, some of us men, I guess it goes back for millions of years, we've somehow make this mistake of thinking that we should be able to dominate everything, or our way goes, or it's not really specific to male. There are lots of female who are want to be controlling everything, and whatever they say should go and all that. So I'm not just picking on our own gender. It's just that some of us humans think that they want to be in control, and their way goes, and their preference would be more important than the other. So if they can't get it in a normal way, in a democratic way, they may want to force it. And to force it, there are different kind of people. There are idiots who raise their hand on their partner, which is the total no. And there are other idiots who become very frightening, or any kind of a physical harm that may go through their mind to hit their partner or something, which is no different than my previous sentence. Is a definite no. These are just barbaric, these are just stupid, these are just low class, and these are just behavior that is unacceptable in anyone's book, let alone mine. But I know that is not the question here. Of course, that is not what I'm implying. I'm just talking about different kinds of reactions at a different times of a relationship, especially in when there is arguments and when there is underlying um, um, bad decisions and bad behavior, and the person ends up doing such horrific behavior, such as raising their hand on the partner. I don't care who, either way is wrong. Whether the girl hitting the boy or the man, raising his hand on the woman, it's definitely more disappointing if it's done from the side of our gender, like a man raising their hand on a female. That is just cowardly. It's just unacceptable. So, some there are some reasons why someone wants to break up, and sometimes it comes out, as you said, accidentally, and it seems like it's accidentally, but it's been brewing for a while. like so this brewing for a while sometimes could be legitimate reasons that you wanted to break up, and sometimes, just as I was trying to say, Jay, when I derailed myself, is when one just says go away, normal way, no bad way, or just breaks up, because it is his way of trying to kind of throw a temper tantrum or force the issue by saying, I'm the boss. So if I can't get my way, I want you to go. But really, he doesn't want her to go. He's just trying to show a certain kind of a consequence for not complying to what he prefers. So, which is a form of forcing. And this is undemocratic, because even if one is successful by threatening as to break off the relationship, so the girl or the boy, whichever is doing this, ends up kind of becoming more compromising in what things you want, or what your opinions are about different things, and how things you want done around in your relationship. So sometimes they do it for that reason, but it's undemocratic. Even if you're able to get what you're looking for, but it's undemocratic. It's not going to last long. Anything that is done by force will never last long. Anything, and I mean anything, that is pushed upon someone or by force made someone one way or another, let's say if parents says to a child, oh, you can't go out, you're grounded, or you can't watch TV, or this and that. So they're using something as a force to make that child do something that they want him to do, but he doesn't want to do it. So maybe they're successful in having him do it once or twice because they took the TV away, or they took his game box away, or whatever it is they took away, or they told him he can't go play with his friend, whatnot. But it won't last because it was done by force. But if it explained to the child, or in this case to the other partner, to the other person in the relationship, the reasons or the consequences or the feelings or the things that it can bring about because it's happening like that in relation to that person who's being affected, that is more logical and is more productive. And so if the child, let's say, in the case of a child, and the parents try to punish him by taking things away from him or privileges away, if they explain to him what is the consequence of doing such a thing or not doing such a thing to himself and to the others in the family or the society and the community as a whole, then if the child or the young adult eventually understands the concept, the consequences, then he will choose not to do it, or he will choose something that should be done. And that will last. Otherwise, you look at history, there has been no dictatorship that lasted for longest time. From the old times, you look at all different kind of kingdoms and systems and dynasties and so on. They lasted for a long time sometimes, but not forever. They eventually came down. Any kind of a system with dictatorial style of governing, whether it's governing their own people or whether they're forcing some other nations, eventually they will have to stop because people won't take it. If it's done in the house, in the home, it's the same. If the father is being vicious, is being too strong in a way of punishments, physical punishments, or too much of a dictatorial in a way of no reasoning, no explanation, then eventually they will not listen to him anymore. And that is when the person will lose respect. And when you lose respect, nobody listens to you because they don't value what you're saying, because they don't value you as much as they would have if you were kinder and more reasonable. So what I'm trying to say is that either you did it because there was some underlying issues that you really wanted to, you were dissatisfied and you wanted to end this, but because, I don't know, maybe she's a looker, she's good looking, or you love her for a different reason, or really smitten with her, or her something about her character, somehow you couldn't bring yourself to expressing the fact that you want to end it, and eventually it came out at the right time or the wrong time. But the reason must have been brewing there somehow, if you had a legitimate reason to break up with her. If not, maybe you just did it so she will comply to your wishes more so than she is. And sometimes girls threaten the boy that I'm going to leave you so he will comply to her wishes and her way of thinking and so on and so forth. So these are just maneuvers that sometimes happen. So I don't know which one it was. You got to look at it into your own heart and find out, are you happy in that relationship? Is it okay for both of us? Both of you. You ask yourself, is it okay for both of us? Am I happy in that relationship? Do I really want to be with her because I haven't had that many girlfriends, or I haven't had that many experiences, or I'm thinking how difficult it will be to find somebody else, or she knows everything about me already. I don't want to go through explaining myself and getting someone to know me again like she does. Is it all those reasons, or is she, or because maybe it's very important to you to be with her, she makes you really happy, or somehow you identify yourself with being with her, and you feel like, oh, maybe the others will look upon you as a failure if you're not with her anymore, if she leaves you, and you feel like, oh, I'm not like what I used to be. Like, if you're identifying yourself and your value and your worth and your character by having a girlfriend with her, well, that's a wrong way of really, because otherwise you can't make decisions from your heart ever. Because today you're identifying yourself with the relationship that you're in, with the lady that you're in, and then tomorrow you identify yourself with the job that you have, and then later you identify yourself with another thing. So always is a condition forcing upon you for not really expressing yourself in the way you like, and staying in the same situation, staying in the same job, staying with the same girlfriend, all because you just don't think you are someone by yourself when you're not in a relationship. or if you don't have this job, then you're not as good as you think you are. These are all making yourself to feel you're valued or you're valuable, your worth is conditional. Make your worth conditional to your abilities, manners, productivity, positiveness, education, and know-how, how you deal with challenges of your life, how you deal with the other members of the society, and so on and so forth. These things will bring a worth to you from inside, from within you, rather than you try to gauge your worth by other people or by other things or by situations and so on, and opportunities. So, having said all that, I don't want to be too long-winded on this. So, I think if you really seriously think that you didn't mean to break up with her, well, just tell her. I'm sure you have. And believe me, she's not going to be running back to you right now. She will say, I need some time, which you mentioned in your email that she has said that. And that's fine. So give her time. But don't be constantly calling her, or don't be constantly trying to convince her that, oh, it's time now, it's time enough, come back to me, I'm sorry. You got to show it to her, your intention. You got to show your intention of wanting to be here, and that was a mistake, by your actions. Meaning, give her space, be polite and nice and kind and generous to her. Just give her a few days, and then after a few days, maybe a week, not too long, maybe a little flower would be nice to express your genuine intentions of apology. And also remember, when you are in an argument, always think about what you want to say before you say it, because once you hurt someone by your words, I mean, we're not talking the other ways, of course, as you know, is a no physical hurting, of course. But once you hurt someone by your words, it's hard to take it back, because your words carry a certain action and emotion. It triggers a certain kind of a reaction, a certain kind of an emotion in her. And once someone is hurt, you may take it back right away. So I'm sorry. But the feeling of hurt will stay with her longer than the time it took you to realize it and say, I'm sorry. It wouldn't fix it because it's hurt. As simple as if I, pinch myself, or if you or somebody would pinch you, and then it hurts, and then say, oh, I'm sorry. Well, okay, they said sorry, but you're still feeling the pain. So their sorry really doesn't take the pain away. So when you want to say something in an argument, it is more crucial than any normal time, which is there is no argument, to be careful about what you say. Out of anger, people can do things and say things, and that is not the way we should allow ourselves to behave out of anger. Anger should not conduct our behavior. Our mind and our feelings should conduct. We should be fair in that argument, even if it's with someone that we love. So we should be fair. It's not about who wins. It's about if we can exchange opinions and exchange, our words, and see if we can make a communication, make clearance about something that we want to say. It's not about who wins in an argument. If I win, I scored. No. If you come to an understanding in an argument, you both scored. That's the purpose of an argument, to come to an understanding. The purpose is not to fight and to win and to say, I got my way. I'm the boss. I'm right. This whole notion of I'm the boss must go away, because really, this is life. Life is short. Nobody's the boss. We're supposed to make things happen. It's not about who's the boss. It's about making things happen. There's enough problems out there. I don't know what age category you are. It looks like you're very young, but this is true in any age category. There's lots of problems out there, lots of challenges of any kind out there. So the last thing you want is really create a challenge between the two of us. So it's supposed to be an understanding and making things work and happen. It's not supposed to be a winning contest or something. So, having said all that, oh, it's already 20 minutes. God, I talk a lot, and I just try to say something before I go and do other things and sleep. But I thought you probably want to hear from me as soon as possible for this particular challenge. But don't worry, if she would still find you reasonable and someone to share some days or some of the days of your lives, she will be reasonable. And if you express your feelings that I'm sorry, I was angry, and that's no excuse. Just because I was angry, that's not an excuse to say something that is hurtful. I didn't mean it. That's probably my shortcoming. I was not being as I should be, which is my character is to be kind to you. And make a sincere apologies, and then let it go. Let it go. And let her feel if she would like to continue with this relationship or not. If she did, great. And if she didn't, well, that's how it should have been, because it is. You know, if she says yes, well, that's how it should have been, because she said yes. If she said no, well, that's how it should have been, because she said no. So whatever it is, that's how it should have been, because it is. So I hope I'm making sense. Anyhow, that should be enough for you to go on. And in the meantime, take it easy. And remember, in argument is more important to be gentle, kind, thoughtful. Think about the consequence of what you're saying, how it's going to make the other person feel what you're about to say, not about how it's going to make me feel good if I say that. How this is going to affect that other person if I say it. And in what tone am I going to say it? In argument, it's not about who's more vicious than that person's the winner. In argument, you're supposed to both cooperate to turn the argument into an understanding. That's supposed to be the main goal. Otherwise, if you don't think about the consequences of what you're doing, what you're saying, well, look, in an anger, people can do lots of things. People can end up saying, oh, I was angry and I hit her. Well, that's not acceptable. So being angry is not an excuse to let things fly off of your mouth or fly off of your hand or, whatever. You have to be understanding. There is an argument, but she is a same person that was giving me all these wonderful feelings, and I'm the same person that I'm supposed to be giving her all these wonderful feelings. So it's not a war, it's an argument. And try to resolve it reasonably. It's that simple. Unless one wants to win, then it takes a different direction, the argument. The argument is supposed to be an opportunity to resolve and come to an understanding. That's it. It's not supposed to be, I argue, and now I want to win, so you will know who's the boss and who's more strong or stronger. Okay, I gotta stop. I gotta have my tea, and you know what? I made some yam, which I'm going to try it now. Good night, and hope everything works out fine for you.